Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. Such an honor to close out the week with two beautiful people playing the Tucson Folk Festival tomorrow. Paula, Fong. I've been working on your last name, Cory, but Tramontelli. Welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. Yeah.
Forgot I was on video.
Paul, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, kind of your intentions for coming here. It's kind of a one-off thing, but I wanted you to talk about your intentions for coming to the Tucson Folk Festival.
Absolutely, yeah. I actually did a show out in Phoenix a few weeks ago.
What venue?
It was called Fiddler's Dream, and a house concert on the way back, which was lovely. I feel like I've not really experienced the Southwest very much, and I'd love to get out here more. There's a lot of interesting vibes I get from this area. And when I found out about the Tucson Folk Festival, I felt like it would be a really great opportunity to get out here. And I got lucky enough to get in, and I'm excited to play tomorrow. This particular festival is my very first, so I'm super excited about it.
Where do you feel like you need to grow? Where do you feel like you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone the most? The only times that I've grown in my life is when I've pushed myself and be vulnerable. And I know that I can tell that you are somebody that wants to be in that vulnerable position.
Absolutely.
But where do you need to grow the most or push yourself the most right now?
Man, I feel like in the last year, 2 years, I've been doing so much growing.
I've seen it.
In what way? Give an example. Give an example.
I started booking myself for the first time last year. I've never gotten out and done my own solo project. I've always worked in other projects with other folks' projects, either as a duo or as a sideman, and so this is getting my own music out there in the world for the very first time, and I'm so happy to have my buddy here with me. But I'd say that anytime that you put yourself out there with something you've created, there is such a different level of commitment and vulnerability, like you were talking about. It's just pushed all of my edges everywhere I can even conceive of to grow.
Did you learn the qualities of good leadership on the bandstand, or what not to do, from being a sideman or sidewoman?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's the best place to learn from, right?
Absolutely.
You're the recipient of it first.
Well, a lot of cats I interview, because leadership's a big theme of my show, and a lot of cats will say, well, I learned what not to do, based on that. And I'm just wondering,
Sure.
what you've gleaned from that experience as an accompanist.
No, that's a great question. I feel like I've had multiple band leaders, and I've had, let's just say, yes, I've definitely been on the side of seeing when somebody was a really effective leader and learned things to do from them. I'm in another band right now, and I love my band leader. I feel like she's a great example.
What's the essence of how does she bring out the best in everybody?
She is so positive. Yeah. Abby Posner is phenomenal as a musician, and she lifts up everybody around her at the same time. And I feel like that is what I would want to be as a band leader as well. Like, I want everyone to, I trust the people that are playing with me. Like, I've specifically wanted to play with them because I believe in them as amazing musicians in and of themselves, and I want to make them shine. And I think that together we will just help each other to elevate the music.
My brother, so good to see you, man. I feel the presence of Jason Abraham Roberts here right now.
We're back.
Am I right? Can you just talk about your idea? I mean, you're a very sublime player, and I just wonder if you could talk about when you sort of passed that Rubicon of not being overly notey and just sort of the placement of the notes. I mean, in folk music, it's not going to be frenetic, odd time metered stuff. Can you talk about how the placement of the notes is actually more important than the amount of notes you're playing?
Cory was just talking about this.
I love it. Yeah, you got the giraffe behind you, dude. Don't climb on the giraffe, bro.
Some of the stuff is swirling around.
Dude, it's all there, dude. It's all there.
I think what's been helpful to me is that I listen to music.
A lot of music, yeah.
I listen to people singing about feelings, and after hearing it for so long, I might not have to think about am I overplaying? Is this too much? Because my like intuition, my instincts have been informed
Your
by
DNA.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
floating
love that.
around in here, so it comes out. She alluded to, I happen to be in another band right now where
Yeah.
I am playing more notes than I have in a long time.
Really?
And it came out really
I
naturally.
need to hear that immediately, dude.
And there was one
A
night.
lot of language coming out of you.
Dude, I had a night and I panicked and I'm like, what am I doing? Have I been dicking around this whole time and am I doing too much? And like the next day I went in and set myself up. I'm like, we're playing the bare minimum notes. And I did, and I listened back to the recordings, and for some reason in this environment, the circus acrobatics on the bass work with the drums and the space that we need to take
So
up.
cool.
But it was scary for me because everywhere I thought I was going was much more subtle, and I'm like, this is the direction, this is the path, and there's like, apparently it's not one size fits all, and every once in a while things can change.
How much of that comes from just your experience on the bandstand? I mean, like I said, the cats that I love the most here, they dropped out of Berkeley because they want to pursue their own conceptual stuff, but they want to be on the bandstand.
Yeah.
And you've been in so many different settings.
Mhm.
And I just want you to talk to young cats about, I guess the reality of it is, even if you have to busk on the street, the idea of being out there without a net and being able to be vulnerable in front of live people. Stop wanking it in your bedroom, okay? And maybe we've all been there, okay? But the bottom line is, what is your advice to cats who are, for lack of a better word, horny to play? You know, how did you push yourself?
I don't know. This is a tricky one.
Well, you just riff any way you want. There's not even a question there.
Yeah. There is value. There's a lot of value to playing a lot, and that's.
What is the value?
You learn how to you can learn how to communicate with different people. Both, actually, I was thinking musically, but also person to person.
Well, no, musically
Kinda
you can
all.
argue on the band. You know, you can get everything out of your system there.
Yeah, for me, playing in a lot of different bands with a lot of different artists and a lot of different genres has given me a lot of I don't know, it's given me a lot of language or a lot of comfort to use. But there's also, I'm not really gonna be one. I have a hard time saying like, oh, go and take every gig you can, because some gigs fucking suck and I don't want to take every gig anymore.
Well, no, I think that's the other part of it.
And so I'm like,
yeah, you're right.
I'm like, I don't know what you should do, but I know that I'm a byproduct of, 15 years of playing. I mean, up until now, really, I wanted to play on everything. And it's just been recent where I'm like, oh, I think the everything phase, I think we're changing, and I think I can refine the vision a little bit.
And you can also pick and choose, maybe because you're a little more in demand.
That's the dream.
You know, Paula, before I let you go, I just wanted you to talk. I mean, you're not going to have a trap set tomorrow. Normally you would. Drummer.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Sadly.
I do want you to talk about Cory's ability to hold it down, but also I'm looking to elevate tomorrow, and I want to go to the heavens. And I just want you to talk about him as a musician and sort of the aesthetics that, ultimately the calm and the peace that he brings you to, because we are not fully responsible for the information that comes through us from the heavens, okay? Our ego sometimes thinks otherwise, and some people let it get to them. Can you talk about how he puts you at ease to allow you to be a conduit or a vessel for information to come through you?
He knows.
I would say that, well, funnily enough, music aside, Cory is probably one of my closest friends.
So cool, man.
Especially in the music scene. And
So beautiful.
I feel like, well, sort of stepping aside a little from your question, he's really what got me back into playing out,
Why?
getting out to see
Why?
live music, because he took me to shows. I was like, hey, Paula, let's go. And I said,
I love
absolutely. And we got out there, and I got really inspired and started writing again. So for me, he's almost like bringing a little piece of home along with me. And every time I've had a chance to play out with him, it feels like, well, skill in and of itself, of course. Cory's a great player, and I feel like he's a great listener. And like we were talking about with communication in the band, communication only happens well when there is somebody who is also receiving well.
That's absolutely, because that's the raising the collective consciousness right there.
So I think that he's a great listener, and I love playing with him.
Well, before okay, one more thing. Teresa James,
Yes,
riff
sir.
on her.
My
All right, I mean, both of you, because Terry.
Teresa
I mean,
James,
all I'm saying is
Teresa
you can
James.
riff on this
Hero.
because you know what? Like, it's gonna be. They're gonna.
My-
It's gonna make their year to see this.
Okay, so I was gonna say.
Come on
Thank
in,
you,
bro.
my friend. Back when you mentioned like who did you learn how to be a good band leader from?
Yeah.
The other person in my mind before we said Abby was actually Teresa. So Teresa and I have
king
been
of leading a
singing
band.
in a band
She's
together.
my hero.
Since
Give me an
my
example. Give me
early
a
20s.
time that you remember.
and talk about like good communicators.
I'm
feel
ready.
like-
I got this shit on lock.
Teresa is the one who taught me how to speak with heart, with kindness, with openness and clarity to other bandmates. Like she has really helped me to hone that skill, I feel. And then also, she was my biggest inspiration and example for singing. I mean, hands down. I sang with her every week for the past 10 years? I can't remember now. Anyway.
I also think that like a respected leader is somebody who's gonna light people up if they're not doing their thing.
Sure.
And
You know,
she will do that.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah,
I'm saying,
she will.
it's not just about like hippy dippy kind.
Sorry,
You know,
Teresa,
exactly. That's what I'm
not
saying, man.
you,
You know, I mean, to me, she doesn't fuck around. You
Well,
know,
because she knows her stuff, and absolutely. Like Teresa James gives you notes, you should listen.
Corey, you want to riff on Teresa? Or?
I've been going out to listen to her for
I
years
fucking love
in
this. I
multiple
can't believe
bands.
this is sick.
She was. I considered her my favorite vocalist, and then I got on this other gig where we get to play regularly, and we're
church
a lot
gig.
closer now.
What church
yeah.
is it, by the way? Give a shout out to the church.
Give a shout out to the church,
Rolling Hills United Methodist.
dude. We out.
And they're
here.
playing. You're playing bluegrass and folk, and it's different. It's different.
Gospel and all
It's
kinds
not
of
worship
things.
music.
No.
They bring in the second. So the pastor really wanted to bring in the outside life into the space of spirituality because we take what we have in that space and take it out into the world. So it makes sense to kind of meld the two together to be.
I love this.
And
No,
he
I
loves music and
He
is
does.
so knowledgeable and so supportive. And it's dinner time.
No!
Paula Fong, Cory Tramontelli.
That's
Love
the
you
show.
guys.
You
Thanks for
too.
being
Love
part
y'all.
of the show. We'll be back.